Patchwork Heart Ministry and Fiat Ministry Network invite you to discover your mission. A brand new in-depth monthly video series featuring engaging Catholic speakers who will challenge you to live your life abundantly. For only $25 a month, you will receive a personal monthly mission, including 3 full-length inspirational talks that build upon a new theme each month. Sign up for the Discover Your Mission tier at patreon.com/patchworkheartministry today.
Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Ministry present Journeys in Faith. Now, here's Anne DeSantis.
Hi, welcome to Journeys in Faith on Fiat Ministry Network. My name is Anne DeSantis, and I'm your host for the next hour. So great to be here for episode 3 already. I can't believe we're already on the 3rd episode of Journeys in Faith. And I'm joined tonight by a very good friend of mine. He is the founder of Patchwork Heart Ministries. He's someone that I'm collaborating with a great deal with, not only with this TV show, but with other online opportunities that I will explain throughout the show with him. I would like to introduce to you my friend, Bill Snyder. Bill, thank you so much for joining us on Journeys in Faith.
Anne, it's such a great pleasure to be here tonight on Journeys of Faith with you and sharing your TV show tonight.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I know that you and I have been talking about doing this for a while, that you would be a guest on Journeys in Faith, because you and I are on a journey in faith, and everybody who's listening and watching, because this is a TV show and it's also going to be a podcast on Patchwork Heart Ministries, where you are the founder of that foundation. So I'm so blessed, Bill, and I'm blessed by your friendship and through the collaboration that we have together here with Fiat Ministry Network and our friend, Kent Kohoski. Kent, thank you so much for bringing us this presentation tonight for our friends who are watching. So, Bill, I thought we could start out with your journey in faith, because you've had quite a journey. And I want to invite viewers also to please check out your website and also your social media presence. His name is Bill Snyder. He's located in Wisconsin. He and his wife, Agnes. Hi, Agnes. Good to see you. Hi, Bill's family. I know they're watching too.
Right.
And it's patchworkheart.org. And I know there's a story about the name. You might wonder, what does that mean, Patchwork Heart? And there's also a reason why Bill and I are connected with Patchwork Heart, because we have something in common there too. So, Bill, I thought you could just take us on your journey.
Yeah, sure. So, this journey, I think for at least my listeners on Patchwork Heart Ministry, is probably pretty familiar for them, because I often, tell it on different podcasts, on different things, different media, whatever, speaking and whatnot. But certainly for this listener base, for this viewer base, I'll share the story again. So the reason why Patchwork Heart Ministry is named Patchwork Heart Ministry is because I'm a survivor of 3 open heart surgeries. I was born in 1985, and at that time, I came out of my mom's womb, but seemingly was a perfectly healthy baby. But 3 weeks later, when I went to the doctor, my very first doctor appointment, a regular pediatrician's office, the doctor held the stethoscope up to my chest and told my mom that, you ought to take your son to a cardiologist. I hear a pretty bad murmur. And so my mom, being a nurse at Children's Hospital in Philadelphia at the time, rushed right over to Children's Hospital, got me in for a cardiology appointment, and they ran some tests, and they said, your son has tetralogy of Fallot, which is a complex congenital heart defect that needs basically immediate open heart surgery. So 3 weeks after my my birth, 3 weeks of age, I had a heart surgery to repair the tetralogy of Fallot condition, and then another one within another year. So another year after that, I had a heart surgery to expand some of the areas of the heart to as I was growing. So I grew up a healthy kid really after that, but somewhere in the first year, couple of surgeries, they don't really know exactly when, they can't pinpoint it exactly, but at some point in that area, I also had a stroke, and that stroke impacted the left half of my motor function. So what they call left hemiparesis. But the fine motor skills in my hand and in my leg and my left side of my body are not great. So like I can't write my name with a pen, with a pen with my left hand. It just doesn't work that way. So as I grew up, I met a lot of challenges, right? And some of them are seen, and other ones are not seen. So over the course of that growing up, things from like learning how to tie my shoes, or even how to ride a bike, or how to carry a lunch tray in high school, and how to play a trumpet with mutes, and all these different things where you had to use more of a fine motor skill and use two functional hands. Some of those things are seen. There's things that are not seen too, that I don't often talk about, but some of the cognitive ability when you're on different heart bypass things and things like that impact the how do I want to say it, the cognitive ability, your cognitive ability. So things like mathematics were always a real big struggle for me. Organization, things that just, you have that disability. Is it seen? No, but it's felt. I think it's felt inside your self as well, and throughout your educational and social development. These things impact you. So did I have? I had an amazing childhood. My childhood was amazing. My parents did an amazing job raising not just me, but my brother and my sister, who are both younger than I am. And we were obviously raised in a faith-filled household too. In a very faith-filled household, and because of that, because of being raised in a faith-filled household, we were always brought to our we were always brought to our we were always brought to our knees in difficult times. Different seizures. I had some seizures growing up, but throughout it all, God was present within our family, and I was raised in a good Catholic household. All of those things. So as that progressed, I began getting involved in youth ministry, very, very much so, in my high school years. So I was involved in going to Steubenville conferences. I was involved, very highly involved, and I just knew that I needed to go off to school, and I knew that I needed to pursue a life in ministry and in technology. So here we are. I graduated the University of Scranton with theology degree, and also with a communications, television, radio production degree. So here we are doing podcasting, TV shows, all of that fun stuff, and also living our faith through it.
You've done such an amazing job. I love your story. And just to let our viewers know a little bit about how we got connected, I want to make a shout out to a friend, a common friend of both yours and mine. She's been a guest on Fiat Ministry Network, as well as with your own radio shows, Bill, is Kendra Von Esch. Hi, Kendra, if she's watching. And I encourage people to check out KendraVonEsch.com, I think it is. And she's also going to be next week's guest on Journeys in Faith too. So plug for that. But Kendra is the one that introduced Bill and I some time back, and so grateful because when Bill and I got to talking, when he told me about Patchwork Heart Ministry, I was intrigued because now I didn't have a congenital heart defect, but I did suffer from a heart condition after one of my pregnancies. I'm very thankful that I'm still alive because it was in the category of congestive heart failure, but I had received something called the sacrament of the sick after that. And, I really attribute the fact that I'm still here with all of you and thank God every day that I'm being granted life because it was something serious. And, whenever any of us go through something health wise, it's kind of just shakes you up and makes you realize, what's really important and following God's plan for our lives. Um, so it's just a great thing, Bill. I'm so glad that we got connected. That was a commonality that we both had. And then we
Mhm.
started talking about, maybe doing some kind of collaborative efforts because as you know, Bill, I mean, I'm the director for a foundation called the St. Raymond Onatus Foundation for Freedom, Family, and Faith. And my first set of guests on this show were the Mercedarian Friars, and they are people that I'm very well acquainted with, and they were the ones that started the St. Raymond Onatus Foundation. So big shout out to them. Hi, fathers and brothers, for you know for bringing me into the St. Raymond Onatus Foundation so that I can help people who are families in crisis. That's what we do. And just another shout out for anybody who is in crisis right now. Check out nonatus.org, which is the foundation that I work for as a director. So we got to talking, Bill, and we were both in ministry, both working for foundations, and figured out that we could do a lot of collaborative efforts together. So I'm very grateful that we came together. Now, this was kind of before the pandemic started. And we both kind of said, or I said to you, it'd be great to do a podcast. I love podcasts. And so we were talking about the fact that we both had that commonality with having
Yeah.
dealt with heart issues before. And that's when we decided to try out something called our podcast, which is Sowing Hope. So,
Yeah.
Bill, you have so much to tell us about all of your ministries having to do with Patchwork Heart. I thought maybe you could just kind of give us all the rundown about all the different podcasts and things that you do with your foundation.
Yeah. So, certainly it is a very funny story how that worked out with Sowing Hope too, because before the pandemic began, I was driving Uber, for part time and doing ministry part time and or really both of them full time. That's just how it goes. But I actually said to you, no, I can't commit to a podcast right now, and circumstances led that here we are in the middle of a pandemic, and well, I can't drive right now. It's not safe to drive with my underlying health conditions. So here we are. Here we are doing Sowing Hope each and every week, and I think the good Lord has blessed us in that regard to be able to start this and sustain it. Gosh, I think we've done 28 episodes as of last night on the Sowing Hope podcast, which is unbelievable. We've had amazing guests, and we've had some really great topics too, and just some really wonderful discussions. And it really is all about hope. I think that we're connected to have this sowing hope into broken hearts, which is the tagline of Patchwork Heart Ministry. I use that tagline, and so we said, well, let's just use the first two words of my tagline as the podcast title. So that's what we did, and it's been so much fun to be able to interview people. I like to joke around. I'll give a quick shout out to my friend Bear Wozniak, who often says this line. He says, people talk to me just because I have a podcast. I mean, the people that I get to talk to, we get to talk to are much higher profile Catholics than either one of us will ever be, or at least I hope so. But the idea is that, gosh, if we could, get to talk to these amazing guests, the reason why is because, well, we have a podcast, so that's kind of fun. But no, it's been wonderful, and it's all about hope. And we've really been able to share and delve into some amazing topics. I mean, we've talked about drug addiction. We've talked about some tough issues, and bullying. We did 2 episodes on bullying. So there are some really good things that people can get out of listening to these podcasts, I feel anyway. We bring different perspectives. As I'm a native Philadelphian. I grew up in Philadelphia, and so Anne is in Philadelphia. So we have a lot in common in that regard, even though that I'm transplanted out to Wisconsin now. But it really is a great podcast to be able to talk with people about their faith, talk with people about hope in their lives. Because right now, we turn on the news, it only takes about 5.5 seconds to turn on the news before you see one of those little ugly pictures of the coronavirus, whatever it is, the module or whatever you call it, the cell or whatever. You sit there, you look at it, you're like, okay, this virus cell, please get it off my TV screen, So this is, you're not going to find that anywhere on our network. You're not going to find that anywhere on our channel. Just, we're going to find the lovely little Sowing Hope logo is what you're going to find. So I hope people tune in and watch that, because it's so much fun to be with you and host that with your co-host that with you, and just talk to people about hope and get their stories. Stories sell. That's the other really big thing, is that stories sell. I often tell people that the one thing that they cannot argue with you, but they can argue with you about church doctrine left and right, and we can disagree over a number of different things. But the one thing that they cannot disagree with you is about your personal relationship of your story with Jesus Christ. That is impossible for someone to argue with you about. This is my experience, and this is what Jesus has done in my life, and I hope that he will do the same in yours. And so I think that's what people are going to find on Sowing Hope when they listen to it.
That's right. And I know that when you and we really prayed together when we decided that we were going to start this, because it was a time when you had a little extra time after not working with Uber. And we prayed about, where are we going to go with this podcast? And I know that we talked about the fact that sometimes in our Catholic world, and in the world of educating Catholics on their faith, there's a lot of factual talk, a lot of talk about trying to evangelize people to kind of hop the fence and decide that they want to live an authentic life. But you don't hear sort of a mixture of compassion that often, in addition to the quote truth. And I know that you and I kind of decided that we really wanted to stay with compassion too, that we didn't want it to just be, listen, here's why you should be Catholic. Here are the rules and regulations of our faith, and why you should be Catholic. We wanted to kind of bring it into the human part of it, because all of us go through suffering. And you know what? That's a commonality for every human being. It doesn't matter what religion you are, because
Right.
everybody's going to suffer. And you and I kind of decided that was the slant, the idea, the direction that we wanted to go with Sowing Hope. So we're putting it in God's hands, and praying that we can serve. Bill, I know that that was something that we both decided was so important, that we wanted to serve the people who are watching this program. Now, I want to invite people also, for people who don't know about Sowing Hope. First of all, it's on all social media platforms. We have it on Facebook, Instagram. It's even on LinkedIn, Twitter, that you can connect with us at SEWING Hope Podcast. So just be sure to check us out. Now, you have another show that's very popular, I know that people know about, called Young Catholics Respond. I thought you could tell us about that.
Yeah, sure. So Young Catholics Respond is, gosh, I think it's on its 141st episode. It's been going on since August of 2017, which is a weekly program, and it's a radio show in addition to podcast. I am blessed to be working with amazing people like Breadbox Media and Pete Sox. Give him a big shout out. And I'm also blessed to be working with some radio stations out on in West Virginia, a Life Radio in West Virginia, a Living Bread Radio in Ohio, and out here a little bit closer to home for me in Huntley, Illinois, at the Huntley Community Radio Station. So I'm so blessed to be able to have the show carried on terrestrial radio, in addition to being carried on all the digital platforms that that we are. So if you don't live in West Virginia, like I don't live in West Virginia, I can't even hear myself on the real radio, but I can hear myself on the podcast. So go ahead, all you have to do is search for Young Catholics Respond in any podcast catcher or feed or whatever you want to do. Just search for it, even Google it, pop up for you. And you can also support us through our website too, or patchworkheart.podbean.com. That's a direct feed. So if you want to enter that in on a podcast feed, you can do that. But yeah, it's a lot like Sowing Hope in that it's interview based show where we bring on different guests and different people. But the neat thing about that is that it's not live; it's pre-recorded, and it's a lot shorter. So it's only a half hour, and that half hour typically flies by. But it's a snapshot, and I like to do what is the response? What is your response to live the culture, young adults? How are you going to live your best Catholic life? And so we bring on guests that challenge you to do that. It's both the declarative statement of young Catholics respond, and then it's also the action. Young Catholics go respond to this culture, and giving you the tools and the whatever it is, the tools and the knowledge and the fortitude to go out and live your Catholic faith in the world is really what I challenge people to do in that short half hour. Of course, each and every week there's somebody new that's doing that. I've had great guests like Susan Tassoni, the Purgatory Lady, who I often call a third-class relic because she had touched Pope John Paul II twice. So she's a relic, and an amazing relic at that, to be able to talk about purgatory and give that some perspective for young adults. There's also people that I've interviewed that are just close friends like yourself and Kendra. And so check it out, because I think there's so much to be learned from others. I mean, that are out there every day, ministering and encountering young adults and helping them live their best faith lives. We can all talk about going to conferences. We can all talk about going to these different venues to rally around our faith, but we need something to sustain us every day. And of course, yes, the sacraments are there, Mass is there. We can be blessed enough to go to daily Mass when this ends, and return to the sacrament of reconciliation. All of those things are present for one, but we need more, and we need that encouragement. And podcasts are a great way to help us along that journey. Podcasts are a great way to help us throughout the course of the day, whether it's Sowing Hope, whether it's Young Catholics Respond, whether it's the Bear Wozniak Adventure, whether it's Journeys in Faith, whatever it is, surrounding yourself with Catholic media, with these, because we know there's so much other media out there that we enjoy watching, our certain Netflix programs. We like watching certain things for sure. We all have our favorite television programs. I know that I do, but surround yourself with some Catholic podcasts too. Surround yourself with some good, religious radio as well, because it's important.
Thanks for sharing about Young Catholics Respond and Sowing Hope. You have so much going on, Bill, and I will say you are a talented radio host, and I'm really honestly blessed to work with you, and just asking our viewers and those who are listening to this on podcast to please check out Patchwork Heart Ministry on YouTube and subscribe. Bill's not that far away from reaching 100 subscribers on YouTube, and it would be great to get those extra subscribers. I have to make the shout out. So please subscribe to Patchwork Heart Ministry on YouTube, and you can hear all the great guests. Bill and I have had on Sowing Hope, we've had some really good guests, and we have some good guests coming up too. And I have good guests coming here on Journeys in Faith, because Journeys in Faith is also a podcast, also with Patchwork Heart Ministry. So
Right.
We're coming about halfway through this show. Now, I have an invitation for everybody who's watching and listening. If you haven't heard, it's on patreon.com. That's spelled patreon.com/Patchwork Heart Ministry. You want to go and check out great opportunities for you to discover your mission. That is what Bill Snyder and Ken Kowalski from Fiat Ministry Network, and me too, because I'm interested in you enriching your faith. Every single month, you can get wonderful downloads from great Catholic speakers. And, it's very reasonably priced too. So when we take a break, you're going to see a commercial about patreon.com Patchwork Heart Ministry. So check it out. We're going to come back in just a few minutes. So we'll be back. Journeys in Faith. See you soon.
Patchwork Heart Ministry and Fiat Ministry Network invite you to discover your mission. A brand new in-depth monthly video series featuring engaging Catholic speakers who will challenge you to live your life abundantly. For only $25 a month, you will receive a personal monthly mission, including 3 full-length inspirational talks that build upon a new theme each month. Sign up for the Discover Your Mission tier at patreon.com/Patchwork Heart Ministry today.
Hey everyone, it's Anne DeSantis here to tell you about my new online TV show called Journeys in Faith. Thanks to Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Radio, I'll be interviewing some amazing guests who'll share with all of us their journeys in faith. It's going to be great, and I can't wait for you to be introduced to some truly good people who are working hard to bring deeper faith to others. It's all about relationship with God and living out our mission as intentional disciples. Join me on Fridays Eastern Time for Journeys in Faith, 8:30 to 9:30. Subscribe at Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Ministry on both Facebook and YouTube. I'll see you Friday and have a great week. God bless.
Well, the St. Raymond Unitas Foundation for Freedom, Family, and Faith is an expression and an application from the Mercedarian religious order. And what we do is outreach to families in crisis, and our initial mission is to families and individuals affected by divorce and separation. We're doing special outreach right now online. What we're doing is we are having these monthly online support groups for individuals who are affected by divorce and separation. The divorce group is on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we have another group at the end of the month, the last Thursday of each month, and that's at 8 o'clock at night Eastern Standard Time for adult children of divorce. The focus of those groups are prayer, reflection, sharing in a safe place, and also attended by a Mercedarian friar and myself, and guided by the teachings of the Church. Hi, welcome back to Journeys in Faith on this great Friday night with my friend, my guest here, Bill Snyder. He's the founder of Patchwork Heart Ministry. We have so much more to talk about. He talked in the first half about all the wonderful things that he's doing at Patchwork Heart Ministry. So I invite you to check out his website at patchworkheart.org, But most importantly, he has an awesome YouTube channel that you want to subscribe to at Patchwork Heart Ministry. Now, I just want to address something that you watched during the commercial. Actually, two things. You learned about Patreon.com / Patchwork Heart Ministry, which is where Patchwork Heart is offering this wonderful opportunity for you to be a subscriber, where every single month, wonderful Catholic speakers will be coming to you. You get your own personal download. It's just great. And, we're going to talk more about that. But I thought I would just address something else on the commercial, which you watched about the St. Raymond Annatis Foundation, where I'm the director, because now Bill Snyder and Patchwork Heart Ministry will be combining with us in that we will be offering new podcasts. The first Tuesday of every month, we will be doing a podcast for people who are affected by divorce and separation. So every single first Tuesday from 8 to 9 p.m., it will be on my own YouTube channel, which is called Filii Nonatus, with the foundation that I represent, as well as with Patchwork Heart Ministry. And we have another one at the end of the month. The last Thursday, 8 p.m. will be for families in crisis. And every single month, we're going to have different guests, whether they're pro-life, people who are involved in helping families who are going through rough times. We will probably do something with human trafficking, adult children of divorce. There's all kinds of topics with families in crisis. So just keep an eye on Patchwork Heart Ministry, because we're teaming up together with the St. Raymond Annatis Foundation. And Bill, I want to thank you for that, because that's a good thing that you and I are teaming up with, and more subscribers who are people who may be affected by divorce and separation may be joining us on Patchwork Heart Ministry.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a great thing, Anne. I really do. The podcasting is such a great way to get and reach people. And as during this time of COVID-19, there are so many people who are seeking to have hope. They need hope in their lives. And people come from difficult situations, and difficult circumstance in their life. Those people who have suffered divorce or suffer because of divorce, it is an area where we need to inject hope. We need to fill people's hearts with hope. And so that's really what your foundation works on, is, helping those people who are marginalized and less fortunate. And so in that regard, those who have suffered because of that, we're able to, and you're able to create a great podcast and great content that we'll be more than happy to produce and help reach those souls, because we know that there are so many people out there, and and that may not be your issue, right? That may not be your issue, but at the same time, it probably is one of your neighbor's issues. And so I strongly encourage you, if it maybe not your thing, to recommend that to somebody else that needs it, and as we produce our content next month, and we make it a reality for our listeners, make sure that you just share things. That's a large piece of how this works. I always say it's the easiest way to evangelize. We do a lot of the hard work behind the scenes, and our guests do a lot of the hard work on our podcast, right? Sharing the faith. All we have to do is click the share button, in order to share it. Once we post the links, it's the easiest evangelization process for a listener. All they have to do is go to their social media, go to their Twitter, go to your Facebook, click the subscribe button right below here. And all it is, it's evangelization. Just click the share, click the subscribe, click the like, and you're evangelizing. You don't have to have a theology degree. You don't have to worry about what you're going to say. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is click share, and you're sharing your Catholic faith. And believe me, we are up against a mountain of other things and other hashtags, right? There are other things that try to drown us out. But if you share it, then it's one less person being drowned out. So this is not about us gaining subscribers, us gaining popularity. It's not about that. This is not about becoming the world's greatest Catholic ministry. I think Jesus would have an issue with that. I think Jesus would have an issue with that if it was about becoming the world's greatest Catholic ministry. No, it's about sharing the gospel and effectively sharing it, which means that we bring on those people who are higher skill, have much higher skills than you or I or me, and then they share it with others. And so if you share it, all you're doing is evangelizing. So please give it a shot. Click the share, click the like, click the subscribe. It's not about us. It's about others.
You said it so well. Honestly, that's what it's all about, Bill. Really, I mean, I think especially the fact that you said that it's not about us being the most popular, Catholic ministry or Facebook site or whatever, or YouTube channel. Because really and truly, Bill, I know that when we came together and we kind of prayed about why God brought these groups together, meaning Fiat Ministry Network, because Kent, who's behind the scenes there, we really have a heart to evangelize. We have a heart to reach people. We have a heart for, say, pro-life or reaching out to those who are in need. We have a heart for the gospel. We have a heart for Jesus Christ, mostly. That's the
Yes.
most important thing, because the tagline for Fiat Ministry Network is saying yes to Jesus Christ. That's the heart of it. That is the heart of it. That's the heart of the St. Raymond Nonnatus Foundation. That's the heart of Patchwork Heart Ministry. And it is, as I said, the heart of Fiat Ministry Network, where you're watching right now. And if you haven't liked the Facebook page here, Fiat Ministry Network, I invite you to please share it with your friends. Let them know about this wonderful network, because really our goal is to help you to love God more, to help you to build community here, because that's what we're all about. We're very accessible too, right, Bill? I mean,
Yes.
you and Kent and I were very accessible to the people who reach out to us. I've gotten already a lot of people come to us and ask that they'd like to either be a guest on this show, Journeys in Faith, or Sowing Hope. So thank you so much for making that outreach to us and letting us know, because anybody who's doing good work to help to make this world a better place with their faith, with loving others, with bringing the message of Jesus Christ and the gospel to others, well, we would consider having you as a guest. So,
Yeah.
right, Bill? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
our email address is sowinghope@patchworkheart.org. That's for Bill and I, our show, our weekly podcast. Now, we do this podcast twice a week. It is on Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern, and it's also on Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern for one whole hour. And you can get it on YouTube and on something called Podbean. If you've never heard of Podbean, it's something on your phone that you can download, Podbean. And it's also on another app, right, Bill? TuneIn, the TuneIn app. So there's a lot of different places that you can listen to this podcast. And, you can listen to it when you're doing other things. Maybe you're making dinner or you're cleaning. But that's the beauty of a podcast, right? You don't have to be sitting in front of a computer screen or in front of your phone to watch it all the time. You can listen to it.
Amen. Yeah, exactly right. And I often think about how many times I've listened to a podcast straight through, or a radio show straight through. I said, my folks last weekend, actually, I said, I don't think I've ever listened to a podcast, all the way through. And I podcast a lot. And, so exactly right. You can start it in the morning, your kids are, kind of crying or whatever. You stop it, you pick it up back in the afternoon when they're taking a nap or whatever. And so, that's the idea. Like this can be something that kind of surrounds your life. It can be something that you incorporate in your life. And media and the airwaves are all around us, right? The airwaves, all these Wi-Fi signals and all these radio waves are all around us. And so it really is a great message for the gospel. We have to tune in. God is present all around us. We have to just turn it on. That's all we have to do. Really, that's the bottom line in our faith lives. God's grace showers us. It surrounds us. It's everywhere. But all we have to do is respond to that. We have to cooperate with the grace. And so by cooperating with God's grace is how we grow in our faith. And I learned that from a great Jesuit priest, Father John Begley, in sacraments class, actually, in college. But it's so true, and just being able to take your faith and say, okay, I'm going to plug into it now. And whether it's our podcast, whether it's somebody else's podcast, find something that resonates with you. It might be, one of my other friends, Journey with Judy Hare. It might be her podcast. For women out there, I mean, I'm pretty sure that my target age is not, target audience is not middle-aged women with, I'm just pretty sure it's not my target audience. But but it might be, and that might be yours. So check out hers. But this is about plugging in where you can to relate to your faith. And I really encourage you to just search. Breadbox Media. Check out Breadbox Media and search for Breadbox. Because Breadbox has like 70 plus podcasts now, and they're all Catholic. They're all people who are out there, trying to serve the church. So check that stuff out. But yeah, it's about plugging into it, taking that step. And a lot of people don't think that's a step in their faith, but it is. Your faith can be found on a cell phone. A lot of other things can be found on a cell phone too. We don't have to go into that, but your faith can be found on your cell phone. It can be found in your Catholic church. Of course, you have to go to the sacraments. I'm not telling you do not, skip Sunday Mass. No, go to the sacraments, go to confession, but also look at your cell phone and realize, okay, this can be used as a tool of an instrument. I actually just said this prayer the other day because I was blessed to be able to get some new equipment, and that new equipment, taking it out of the car from the repair shop where I had it. Where I had it installed, I said, Jesus, I give this equipment to you to do it for good. You know what I mean? Like when I look at it, I have to look at it as a sacramental. I have to look at it as a way that's building up my faith and other people's faiths. So just think about, what you have in your life, and then turn it over to Christ. And it goes with anything. But I think people often think, oh, I'm just playing around on Facebook. I'm just playing around on my cell phone. I'm playing Candy Crush or whatever it is. But if you stop, and you say, okay, I'm going to now use this just for a half hour for good, to listen to Young Catholics Respond, or an hour to listen to Sowing Hope live on Thursday night, or whatever that is. Just take that as a sign from God right now that is telling you, all right, all I have to do is plug in. The grace is there. The graces are offered. I think Mary the Blessed Mother, I think, told that to Saint Catherine Labouré too in Paris, France, when she appeared with the miraculous medal. She said, these are the graces. She showed her the graces that were not being picked up, that weren't being taken off of her hands, like all these gems that were flowing off of her hands, and nobody was grabbing them. They were just falling to the ground. You see, they surround you. The graces that the Blessed Mother offers through the Rosary, the graces that Christ offers, through his sacrifice, it's offered. All you got to do is tune in. All you have to do is plug it in and say, God, I want them. And so whether that be listening to a podcast, or whether that be watching a TV show like this one instead of watching WWE with your wife, like I typically do on Friday nights, here we are, and that sacrifice, it gives us a grace. It gives us a grace to be able to, plug in and experience, and gather together, even if it's virtually right now, gather together. To grow with one another.
It's so awesome. And you mentioned the word fiat, which, we didn't talk at all yet about Mary. And I'm glad you brought up the Blessed Mother, because I know that the Blessed Mother has so much to do with Fiat Ministry Network, because fiat, Mary's yes, as Ken has said on right on the Facebook page, that it's saying yes to Jesus Christ, just like Mary did. And I know that with you and I, Bill, and the work that we're doing, the Blessed Mother does have so much to do with, because the Mercedarians, who are the ones that I'm representing with the St. Raymond Donatus Foundation, Our Lady of Mercy is who we pray to and who we intercede to. So I'm just so grateful for that opportunity. And I know you and I have often prayed to our Blessed Mother right before a podcast and say, Mary, please pray for us as we go on this podcast, offering it up to the Lord and to those who are listening. So, and it's really helped, and I'm grateful. So
yes, yeah, the Blessed Mother is an amazing person, and she is alive. She is well. She has assumed body and soul into heaven. And so because of that, I be very clear for our maybe some Protestants that are out there listening, we do not worship the Blessed Mother. We worship Jesus Christ, we worship God the Father, we worship the Holy Spirit. We do not worship the Blessed Virgin Mary. But she,
Intercede, right?
but
Intercede for her,
exactly,
ask her to
we
pray for
venerate
us,
her.
just like we
We
would
venerate her.
our mom, venerate. That's right.
Yep, exactly. We venerate her. We ask her to intercede for us, as you just said,
Mhm.
because when it's just like asking a friend to pray for you. I mean, I can't tell how many times both of us go back and forth and we exchange text messages. Will you pray for this? Will you pray for that? Will you pray for this? I need prayers for this, and we do it all the time, right? You and I do
That's
it all the
right.
time.
We do.
And but if we believe that the Blessed Mother was assumed body and soul into heaven, and she's there in heaven, then why not ask her to pray for you? Just because you pass from this earth and go to heaven doesn't mean that you still exist. You might not exist in the same bodily form, but your soul still exists. And one day it'll be reunited with your body, of course. But this is something that we need to think about as Catholics. We have to look at this and we have to say, okay, Blessed Mother, will you help us? All these great saints, will you help us in our life? Because I couldn't tie my own shoes without the help of without the Blessed Mother, without the saints. I am capable of doing very little without the intercession and without the help of amazing friends on this earth and on those in the next life, that have already won the crown of glory. And so I just think we ought to really examine how we pray and how we ask for help. We all have wounds. We all have broken hearts. We all have patchwork hearts in some way, right? I mean, mine are. I can easily point to mine, right? I actually have physical, patches sewn in my heart. You might not have that, but I guarantee you have some wound in your heart somewhere, and there's only one person that can fix it. It's the divine physician. His name is Jesus. I'm just his divine physician assistant trying to help him out. That's all I'm doing. So please, think about how you pray. Think about who you pray, to for intercession. Who to intercede, and find somebody with your condition like this. Like we were talking about who was going to be the patron saint of our podcast, right? And we said two people. We picked two. I said Saint John of God, who is the patron saint of those with heart conditions, and then we also picked Saint Teresa of Calcutta because she has just an incredible heart for the poor and heart for people who need hope. She talk about a person who spread hope. There's Saint Teresa, Mother Teresa of Calcutta. So align your faith life too. If there's one piece of advice, align your faith life with what you got going on, because there's patron saint. Just all you got to do is Google it. Google patron saints, and you'll find amazing ways to interact with our heavenly court, and they will help you. I guarantee it. Little graces here and there. Everything from Fulton J. Sheen to keep my computers running, and
Hi, Alan.
right? Hi,
Alan
Alan.
Smith here.
Yes, exactly. To Saint Gabriel, the patron saint of communicators. So there's just so many great people that can support you in your faith life. They're called saints. And of course, look to your brother and sister too. Your mom and dad living on this earth. Your wife. Look to your kids too. They're all here to help us on the journey. But don't exclude those in heaven, because they can help you in a special way.
You said that so well, Bill. Honestly, I'm glad you brought up the saints, and I'm glad you brought up Saint John of God and Saint Teresa of Calcutta, I should say, because the one thing that you and I both agreed with when we came together was our heart for the marginalized, and you know that I have a heart for marginalized and those who are on the fringes, and that's really my life mission. Personal mission is to make outreach to them. I know, Bill, you agreed on that, and I think God brought this together for that reason. So if somebody's listening or watching and you do feel you are marginalized, then the Sowing Hope podcast and Patchwork Heart Ministry is for you. And I invite you to be friends with us and let your friends know, because we're all about helping families in crisis. Now, also, I said a shout out to Alan because he's a regular, not only as a guest sometimes on Fiat Ministry Network, but also on Patchwork Heart Ministry. So that's why I said hi, Alan, because that has to do with ministry regarding Bishop Fulton J. Sheen. So, there's a lot of shows that Alan has done too. And just that's what that hi, Alan was that I said. So,
exactly.
I know he might be watching or listening at some point. So
exactly.
we said our hi.
Yep. Why? Yep. Absolutely. And watch Hungry for More on Fiat Ministry Network. That's Alan's show on Thursdays. Watch Hungry for More, and also that's available on our podcast feed as well. But yeah, definitely check out Hungry for More with Alan, because he's a great interviewer, a great, awesome person. So yeah, we have so many amazing programs that we're collaborating with. And, I really encourage everybody to check out Fiat Ministry Network too, because Fiat, you got, masses, many, many times a week, Sunday mass, especially during this time, now they've been doing this for a long time, folks. I mean, Kent's been doing this for many, many years, streaming masses, but it's become all the more relevant right now, of course, when many people cannot physically get to church because it's closed, where you're able to view the mass, you're able to watch the mass, and pray together in your home. It's another touch point of grace. It's another touch point of grace to respond to that grace. Again, it's going to be airing on the network anyway. It's going to be out there, but go pick up those graces, go pick up those gems, go pick up those diamonds that the Blessed Mother and Jesus are dropping down all over the earth all the time. Go pick them up. Otherwise they just fall there and they wait for somebody to get them. So go pick them up.
It's a wonderful thing, Bill. I'm glad you brought up the masses, because Fiat Ministry Network, Kent, I want to thank you. Kent's behind the camera. He's the owner and founder of Fiat Ministry Network. And as I said, if you haven't liked them yet on social media or connected with them on YouTube, please, Fiat Ministry Network, because they're streaming masses all the time. And good friends of mine who are priests up in Western New York, who are Mercedarians, and also the spiritual moderator for the St. Raymond Donatus Foundation, Father Ken Breen. Hi, Father Ken. And Father Matthew Phelan, a great friend of mine and also of this network too, their masses are being streamed all the time for Our Lady of Mercy and St. Bridget's parishes. So I know, Kent, you've done such a great job with bringing those masses to people during this pandemic. So I thank you that you've been able to do that for people. And, we all pray and hope that we can get back to Mass soon. But in the meantime, isn't it great that we can watch Mass online? And Fiat Ministry Network has done a great job with that. So, Bill, you and Kent, and even myself, we have a great thing going here with our collaboration with Patchwork Heart Ministry, Fiat Ministry Network, St. Raymond Donatus Foundation, and others who are coming together to try to help to bring greater faith to you that are watching. Now, I have to emphasize, as we're coming to the end of the show, that invitation that I gave to you, because you can get wonderful Catholic content at patreon.com/Patchwork Heart Ministry. And, there's always commercials that you see running on the shows to learn about it. But you know what? Go to the site and check it out, because Bill, I thought maybe you can end by telling us a little bit more about this opportunity before we say our goodbyes on this show.
Yeah, absolutely. So Patreon is a subscription platform for many different people out there. Many different ministries and whatnot use it, and nonprofits and for-profit companies. But mainly it's for creators. And that's what we do. We create content. We're creating content right now. So it's for content creators. And what Kent and I have done is we put together an amazing tier package for you, where you can actually get a audio subscription to the 38-part series from John Curry Sr. That explains the entire Catechism of the Catholic Church for $10 a month. And that's called the Hear Your Faith tier. You're not going to find that anywhere else on the internet. This is premium content. So you're not going to be able to Google that and find that. The only place you'll be able to find it is on Patchwork Heart Ministry and the Patreon that both Fiat and we're doing. It's just as the Patchwork Heart Ministry Patreon account. So check that out. the other thing I would really encourage you to check out is the next level tier, which is the $25 a month tier. And that one is videos. So what we did was it kind of came to us at the beginning of this pandemic, where we thought, okay, well, it was during Lent, this pandemic started, right? And so everybody was sitting there going, okay, well, my mission is canceled. I can't go attend a parish mission. And all the speakers are going, well, I can't go and give a parish mission, And so we thought, well, we'll bring the parish mission to you, right? And what we did was we asked speakers to get together, and it happens to be Kendra doing one for May here, and we're getting that ready and to go here for this week. But what each and every month, when you subscribe, you're going to get a full 3 video parish mission. And these are not like 10-minute videos, folks. They're like half-hour long videos. So they're in-depth videos, half hour to 45 minutes long, that are going to explain to you a different topic of the faith. So I did the first one. It was on running to the heart of the Father, with my good friend Penny Warner as well. She helped me on the last night do a Stations of the Cross. But this month, we're now going to have another one on Mary, and it's Kendra's story called My Road to Mary. So she's going to talk about the Blessed Mother, and kind of a good lead-in for her, and you'll find her next week on Journeys in Faith as well, so you guys can talk about it a little bit. But you can't get the content for free; you have to subscribe. And so this also helps us produce all this other free content that's out there on the internet, right? So by you subscribing to our Patreon, then it helps us. This stuff does cost money to produce. It's our time, our money to produce these things, and so this is a way that we're not breaking anybody's bank. We don't feel like $25 a month or $10 a month isn't gonna break anybody, I don't think, anyway. I know it's tough for some people financially right now too, but again, we don't think that's unreasonable to ask for that. And that content, I know you will be fed by. And we're working with some other people to help us create study guides, so that when the pandemic ends, you'll be able to take these parish missions and show them on video to your small groups. You'll be able to show them to your friends, maybe in a coffee shop or whatever, in your parish basement, and use it to even after the pandemic's over, get together and have discussions around, well, these are some really great topics to discuss with some really amazing speakers. And guess what? You didn't have to fly them in for a parish mission. So it's just kind of one of those options, I think, that's really nice for people to be able to get it in their home and use it and repurpose it for when the pandemic ends as well. So please check it out. Again, it's very easy to get it. It's just patreon.com/patchworkheartministry. And just so you know, both Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Ministry are benefiting from that. Both of us are, taking the proceeds to reinvest those, to make more content and make greater, better, free videos for you, and programs like this. So I really encourage you all to check it out.
Bill, that was just great. And I totally encourage everybody who's watching to please go to patreon.com/Patchwork Heart Ministry. It's all good, and for what you said earlier about the saints and about the Blessed Mother, if somebody's watching and you're not Catholic and you don't know that much about the faith, this is an opportunity for you to really learn more about what it means to be Catholic, because, Jesus Christ is at the heart of who we believe in and who we love. But all these other things, the saints, the intercession to Mary, they all help us to love God more. So, Bill, thank you so much. Now, I thought we're in the middle, well, I shouldn't say in the middle of this pandemic, because I'm thinking we're kind of toward the end.
I
I thought you could give maybe a word of advice to somebody who's watching who needs a little bit of encouragement before we end. And I want to invite them again. Now, there's going to be a special video on patreon.com/Patchwork Heart Ministry from Bill and I, 5 minutes of faith. We're going to give 3 little tips Bill will share, but you have to go to the website and you have to become a subscriber to learn more. So
That's right.
that's right.
But no, I think for somebody out there struggling right now, I always say the Holy Spirit makes divine appointments with those who are listening. And maybe you're stumbled across this on Facebook or whatever, and you're struggling, you captivated by what we were talking about and whatnot. I would just tell you that hope is something that can never be fully possessed, because once you possess the end goal, you no longer hope for it, right? So if you're in the middle of a situation, try and have hope, because once you attain that goal, you no longer have the need for the virtue of hope, right? So try to have hope, and that means long for God, long for Him. Pour your heart out. Pour your heart out like a libation. Pour it out to God. Sometimes we have to. God already knows what you want, but He loves it when you ask. So ask God. And show Him that you still have hope, that you still have faith, that you still have love for Him, and just throw your whole being into His arms and say, God, I trust in you. And let me tell you, that's the scariest and hardest thing to do, but just try and do it. If you're really struggling in your life, you're like, oh, this isn't the way I want things to go. Just say, Jesus, I trust in you, and I still have hope. I still have faith. I still have love in my heart, and I ultimately want to be with you. So that would be my advice for somebody out there struggling.
Thank you, Bill. So this has been great. And
it has.
Now I have good news for people who are watching, because I think it's June 19th. It's the day before Father's Day. We're going to have a special show, not only with Bill and I, but with the founder of Fiat Ministry Network, Ken Kohoski, will be joining us. So we're going to have another show that day on Journeys in Faith. Join me next week for Kendra Von Esch as my guest. And as I said, please again, check out patchworkheart.org. Bill, thank you so much for being a guest.
Oh, thank you so much. And it's been wonderful to be with you, and keep sowing hope in those broken hearts.
That's right. Good night, everyone.
Journeys of Faith is a production of Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Ministry. For more information about Journeys of Faith, email info@fiatministrynetwork.tv. And be sure to friend, follow, and like us on social media. Just search Journeys in Faith with Anne DeSantis.
Patchwork Heart Ministry and Fiat Ministry Network invite you to discover your mission. A brand new in-depth monthly video series featuring engaging Catholic speakers who will challenge you to live your life abundantly. For only $25 a month, you will receive a personal monthly mission, including 3 full-length inspirational talks that build upon a new theme each month. Sign up for the Discover Your Mission tier at patreon.com/patchworkheartministry today.